In today's breaking story, Donald Trump's newest pick just backfired as his embarrassing secret leaks. That's right, anytime Donald Trump does anything, it's a recipe for disaster. How's it going, everybody? Hunter Avalone here with Occupy Democrats. Welcome back to another video. Now, Donald Trump is a total embarrassment, which is why all of his policies and his policy reversals are embarrassing.
The whole issue of tariffs, if we're reversing some tariffs to try to help affordability, isn't that acknowledging that that tariffs were responsible for some of the higher prices and for some of the inflation that is still a problem?
Well, first, this is nothing new. If you go through all of the trade deals that we've been doing all the way through, then there have been things that we decided it was prudent based on the economics of supply and demand to exempt. And one of those things that we've been exempting all along is something that we don't make in the U.S., we'll never make in the U.S., or almost never. I know that in Hawaii they make some coffee. And so onshoring that production really doesn't make sense. It's not part of our strategy. And what the president just did with food is decide to make like a blanket movement so that we weren't going through each deal and picking this and that.
And somehow it gets worse, still not as bad as today's breaking story.
This comes back, whether it's Epstein, Venezuela, foreign wars. Trump campaigned, it seemed to this point, basically lying to the American people. Because you remember, one of the cornerstones of his campaign was inflation's too high. I'm going to get it day one, day two, whatever. He was going to come in, he was going to magically fix it. Inflation was going to go away. Everything was going to come down in cost. And then he comes in, he puts tariffs on everything. And you can make an argument about the long-term economic impact of U.S. manufacturing and all of that, which I think is highly debatable. But no one will debate the fact that if you put a tax on imports, that's going to increase costs, which is, of course, exactly what happened. Now, belatedly, Trump is figuring out that he set the house on fire, so maybe he ought to try to put it out. But it's really a major problem in terms of getting after the number one issue in America, and that's the high cost of living. Whether it's food, housing, insurance, healthcare, President Trump has done literally nothing to help. And in most of those areas, he's actually gone the other way. He's getting rid of the subsidies for the Affordable Care Act. He's canceling energy projects all across the country, usually as an act of political revenge against Democrats. So all the policies that he's actually implementing are driving up costs. And now belatedly, he's like thinking about maybe I shouldn't do part of one of those. So, okay, that helps, but I hope he understands the bigger picture of what really needs to be done if you're going to get the cost of living under control in this country.
Yeah, like I was saying, Trump's new pick just backfired as his embarrassing secret leaks. That's right, take a look at this breaking story. President Trump is dealing with a major embarrassment after his newest hand-picked prosecutor was exposed for something the White House never planned on the public learning. The man Trump just elevated to run the powerful Southern District of Florida, the office with jurisdiction over Mar-a-Lago and Miami, literally flunked out of that same office just a year ago. Jason Reading Quinones was hired in 2018 and placed in the standard boot camp for new prosecutors. Most people move up quickly. Reading Quinones did not. According to the Washington Post, he earned poor reviews for his work ethic and legal skills, failed to impress supervisors, and ultimately washed out of the program completely. He left the office after years of bad evaluations. Then Trump brought him back, not as a junior employee, but as the leader of the entire office. And that is when everything started to unravel. The moment Reading Quinones took charge in August, senior staff began resigning. Two respected supervisors, the same ones who issued his failing evaluations, immediately quit. Morale collapsed. Prosecutors openly questioned whether working the wrong case could get them removed. He then used his swearing-in ceremony to accuse the office of past bias, frustrating career attorneys, and after right-wing influencers targeted a division chief for donating to Kamala Harris, Reading Quinones responded by restructuring the office, pulling national security cases out of the criminal division, and placing them directly under his control. That move gave Trump's loyalist oversight of investigations involving Trump's political enemies. Last week, he issued dozens of subpoenas aimed at officials connected to the Russia investigation, something prosecutors say they have never seen before. Trump wanted a loyal attack dog, but elevating someone who failed at the job he now leads does not project strength. It exposes how desperate this administration has become, and the leak of Redding Quignon's record has turned this appointment into another self-inflicted disaster. Thanks so much for watching. Please click that like button and subscribe to Occupy Democrats so that you can stay informed and help us stop Donald Trump.